I think you all feel hot. Huh? Huh? You know very well, it's very hard to live in this world. So that is why you have been given this information that this word is not for you. You are so holy, so nice, so wonderful, that you have to enjoy your own status. So many times I have told you that this world has been made for the animals. That everything which they require, that is available. And they are not dissatisfied. When they find something to eat, to drink, and have their life, then they are satisfied. No demand is there. It means that they are well fitted over there. When one is satisfied somewhere, it means it is suiting that place, that person. But here in this world, if you ask the man, he will not be satisfied with anything. Poor people are not satisfied, rich people are not satisfied, and kings and emperors are also very much at stake. They are also not satisfied. You will not find any human being satisfied in this world. Sometimes you may feel satisfied when one is raised from lower status to little higher status, then he will feel some better condition over there. And that may be temporarily befitting that person and feeling adjustable and fitted in that. But after some days, that place which he had found, it was agreeable to him, will become unagreeable. Then he demands still something better. And that shows that we do not belong to this world. That this anxiety which is there put in us has been put for some purpose. That if the bird is feeling like flying, there is some provision in it that it will like to fly. And if it cannot fly, it will suffer. If you ask some cow or dog or horse that they want to fly, they will be wondering upon you, what are you saying? What are you telling? It is something totally foreign to them, because it is not in their lifestyle. Any desire in us is also not something which is just only at random or accidental or incidental. There is some base out of it. If there is some person who is thirsty, only that person will ask for water. Another person, the water may be lying by the side, he will not look to it. Any person who is hungry will demand food, will ask for food, and that he will try to have the food in any way or any means. But a person who is already full in the belly, food may be lying by his side, he will not ask for it, he will not look at it. So what is the need in us? That is not that is our extra need that we are to annihilate it. As in some thoughts of some people, it has been asked to us, be desireless. You should have no desire of anything of this world. Is it possible, first we may say, is it possible that we should be desireless? It is not possible. And all those masters and saints who have gone to that style of life which is of truth, where there is everything crystal clear, there they say that this phenomena is not to work. This desire is there, which is our main source of our life. That when we desire for something, then we try for that, then we find it. If we have no desire for anything, we will not try for it and we will not get it. So that is a good phenomena, that when there is some scarcity of maybe water or maybe food, then the body cries out, ring the bell, something is missing. I want food, some food is missing. And then that bell then rings, it goes to your heart, that somebody is something missing. And then you think of it and you try to arrange it, and then it is provided. And then your requirement, which basic requirement, that if you do not fulfill the requirement, you will be in danger. You will be in suffering. There will be some problems for you. If you do not attend to it, if you attend to it in time when there is need, and this need is true to you, and immediately you have arranged it, then it is okay. Then your life will go on nicely. So this life of the man is like this. Any desire at any level is genuine desire, and that we have to arrange for that, and we have to satisfy it. If we will not satisfy it, there will be problems, trouble, suffering. And this is the main reason why we are having problems, troubles, or diseases, or sufferings. The firstly, it is there that we have not really understanding. If a child is hungry, he doesn't know. If it had to eat something, if it is thirsty, it doesn't know that I want water. If it is feeling hot or cold, it doesn't know. What is the reason and what is the remedy for it? And therefore, the mother is there for the child, that it has to look at what is the need of the child, and that its desire is not there. Need is there. And without the desire, understand the need of the child, then it provides all that what is needed. The desire of the child works through the heart of the mother. Directly it is not there. When we are in the womb of the mother, a child is in the body of the mother, then all that needs are not coming as desires, but these are directly fulfilled by the God power which is there in us in the form of sound and especially light, because it knows our heart, it understands our heart, and everything very, very correctly, 100% truth, 100% real, and what quantity, and moment by moment, drop by drop, what is needed, that is accomplished, that is given to us, and that is there, that child is healthy, everything is accomplished in his body, etc., all nicely. And that the reason is there, that there is God power which is unfailing, which understands anything, knows everything, and therefore there is no damage or no difficulty anywhere. That you see that, as I given the example in the morning talk, that there is egg of the hen. Just you break the egg, it is only some kind of liquid, nothing in it. But when you put that egg in some temperature or under the hen, then after 3 weeks, then the very wonderful chicken is coming up. You will be wondering how it is made. It was just only some kind of liquid somewhere. It was totally nothing. And now something wonderful. It is moving, it has eyes, it has ears, it has legs. Everything which is needed for its function, it is there. How it has come up, who has made it, how it has changed, all that. That is work of some super intelligence, super consciousness. And that there is no error in it. There is no delay in it. There is a moment to moment, every kind of need is supplied before it becomes desire. The need is already fulfilled. Desire only comes up when the need is already there, and then desire comes, then supply comes. It will take some time. If need is directly taken care of by the supplier, and before it has to go through that channel of desire, and then some arrangement of that desire to fulfill is being accomplished, till that time one will suffer. One will suffer really. As you would have seen the child, when child is hungry, and the child begins to cry. And then the mother is preparing the food and preparing the milk. And milk is too hot, because it has boiled the milk. And now child is looking at the milk. He is satisfied that now my hunger will be satisfied. But it is lying somewhere by the side. He is not allowed to have it. Then he again tries and cries and cries and cries. And mother says, please wait a little. He goes on, no, it should go into my belly. I am waiting for, eagerly, instantly. Why are you delaying it? I cannot wait for it. Because my hunger, my demand, or my need is so strong. I cannot wait for your arrangements. So these callings and desires and then arrangements are also very horrible systems. Because this will create problems. All this long process, red tapeism, what we call generally, unnecessary, that goes on. So this is why that we are to depend upon God, which is our direct supplier, that we are to hand over ourselves to God. As it was already in the womb of the mother, the child was directly connected to God, and everything was going on wonderfully. When the child comes out of the womb of the mother, then also there is arrangement that we can connect the child to God, because that all connection factors are already there existing. Soul is there, and light is also there, sound is also there, and where from it is coming? Directly from God and kingdom of God, that is also there. And that when every supply center is there, which is to supply from inside, it is not that child is to cry, and then mother will come and will come to know that my child is crying. What is the difficulty? That God, who is already in our heart, already knows that after 10 minutes, what will be the demand of my soul, my child, after 1 hour, or after 10 days, or after 1 second. Second by second, moment by moment, all future, all present of that person who is under his control, he knows. And he has all supplies, everything ready. Nothing is to be prepared, nothing to be processed. Everything is already ready. And we are to enjoy it. This way of life which has been given to us by God, it is very hard system that we have not understood it. And that, why don't you believe it? This is there that we can believe it because it is existing. And that if you have been found that all supply is there, you will find it. Sometime back there was a person in Germany, that lady started meditation for 40 days in some retreat, and after about 12 days she told, I don't feel hungry. I don't eat anything. Then I had phoned to her that I had told you to meditate, but I have not told you to go on hunger strike. It is meditation, you have to enjoy. He told, I cannot push. I cannot push. If there is some desire in me, if there is some need in me, then I will feel like eating it. But when there is no need, I don't have any kind of anxiety, I cannot push it unnecessarily. I told her, okay, that is all right. But you are not to act in this way, that if your need is there, it is not fulfilled, that is not the case. Sometimes people feel like going on some kind of fast. That also I don't like, that people should go on fast. Because when you are going on fast, you are hungry, but you feel, oh no. But under something is crying, food. No. There's a big fight between the demander and the supplier. And we are very cruel. That we are really cruel on that person who is innocent one, who demands from us, and he depended upon us, and now he is suffering, that because we are not ready to supply anything to that person, that agency, and it will create some problem. All the fasts, etc., were designed in such a way that when such a system is there, that you do not feel hungry. That substance which you need from outside is automatically supplied from inside. And that was the case with that woman who had started meditation of 40 days retreat, that after 12 days, due to the meditation, that supply was coming up from the natural source of God, from kingdom of God. As in Bible it has been told, I am the bread of life and the water of life, eat me and drink me. It is not only some kind of parable-like system that is not really basically true, but is basically true. And that our body has got a direct approach to the food which is from God through the holy sound specially, and holy light also specially. That when you find contact inside with the holy light and sound in such a way that mind is really connected to it, then some kind of elixir-like supply begins to come from above, and you feel so much absorbed in it, so much adjusted in it, that you will go on enjoying it for hours, for days, for months, maybe even for years. You will have the body, but all body needs will be supplied from inside. And it will go on working. And that we will go on enjoying it. We will go on enjoying it. This supply center which is there given in us, that is to be little awakened. And that we have pushed it down, it is not in working order. When some organs of your body you do not put in action to them, after some time they lose their power of action. For example, you would have seen that if somebody has found some accident and have broken the leg, and that person is lying under plaster of for connection of the joint or the fracture for 2 months or 3 months, one is to only lay down on the bed. After 3-4 months, when that person is asked, okay, now your joint is properly connected and now you can walk, then you will not be able to walk. You will have to be helped by some person, because those organs which had been working now had gone all out of order. Because when something is not used, it will not be then in working system. According to our needs, these things are there. In the same way, we have got that supply center from where our supply is to be found. But when we are pushing food from outside, then all that is lost. And we have to depend upon the outside food. And when we don't find food from outside, then we are dying. But if I have seen some persons in the past, but not now, these are such like people are not available now, that they had been decreasing the food. Little by little, and in one year or something like that, they could approach such a state that they did not need any food. They were living only on water. Because slowly this system of eating food was slowed down, and that system which was there to find directly food from inner arrangements of kingdom of God, that was awakened that there is need of you. Sufficient food from outside is not coming down, and that you are to also now come in action to make up the supply, make up the demand, and then it will begin to work. And it really begin to work. There are so many such like examples, especially in Indian mythology records are there, that the people were living without food. They were generally named as the dwellers of the food of air. That air is their food. And they go on living. I was also asked by my neighbor that I do not eat meat or egg. How can I make a protein content without 10 pounds of milk daily? And that I was only taking about 200 grams of milk. And then I told him that the food which is directly coming down, that is really your food. And you are not to take care which food is useful to you, which is not useful to you. As in this world, we have to be very careful. There are some people who have some kind of special systems of their work, body. Some are having diabetes, or some other disease, or some other nature. They have to select the food. They cannot take everything what is lying on the dining table. And that if they do eat some wrong food, then they are in trouble, in problem. But when we are having food from inside, then it is all 100% wonderfully arranged. That what is our need, that is there. Any vitamin needed, any protein needed, any carbohydrate needed, any which is needed there. That 1 milligram or a part of milligram is also adjusted properly. There is nothing more, nothing less. What is ever there, that is 100% given to us. As it is arranged in the physical body of the child, in the womb of the mother. Who is to take care of the things, what material is required, what kind of proteins or carbohydrates or vitamins are required, what is the material of the eyes, what is the material of bones, what is the material of nails, what is the material of the hair. There is nothing, any theory, no books are there, no doctors are there, no advisors are there, but everything is going on perfectly. And there is no difficulty to any part of the body of the child. Because there is someone perfect in us who is there to nourish us. This makes us believe that there is God, there is kingdom of God, there is arrangement which is working. Otherwise, can you imagine that if you go somewhere and that you may feel that some tree should grow or some plant should grow, will it grow? Will it work? Never it will work. And that if you are diseased or you are needing some food or water, and that it may become automatically. Is there any possibility? No possibility is there. Because there is a possibility which is possibility that you have not contacted. And therefore we are to run after 100 people, because we are not satisfied or we are not really accomplished with our desires or needs with one thing. Millions of these things are required for us. And we have to run after million ones for arrangement of each thing from each one. If there is one who is perfect supplier, he knows everything and has everything, and then we are not worried for that. Our life will be totally arranged managed by that perfect one who has love for us, has feeling of responsibility for us, and is perfect for us. He is a doctor, he is an engineer, he is everything for us. And why we should not manage him? And he has offered to us. And that example I had given to you, that if you just diagnose how this chicken has been made, or any other child has been made of any species of life, or your children have been made, is there any specific answer of anyone, any doctor, any scientist, any engineer, that it was due to some help of some human being? Some arrangement from this world, that this thing has come up. All the trees and plants are growing. Whose arrangement is there? The leaves are coming up, the flowers are there coming up, and the fruit is there coming up. It is little, then it grows bigger and bigger, and the green, and then it begins to change its color, and that sourness is gone, and then some flavor is there, the sweetness is there, taste is there, and then all those good things which are there needed or expected out of it are also available to us, and we enjoy it. Who is the maker of it? How it has been accomplished? It is not a man who can do something. The competency of the man is only to work in some kind of substance which is no useful for us, without which we can live. That, let it be, there had been a long time back people who had been living without clothes even, no houses, nothing with them, that they were living as wild animals were living. They were just living like same kind of life, wild life. There are such like records in the history. And that they were living only on nature. They were not processing food, they were not collecting food, they were not cooking food. And as the animals are going along, finding the direct supply from direct nature, they were also finding the same directly. And that they were living, they could live. But all these arrangements which we have made is not really unnecessary. And what is really necessary, that is already provided by God. What is most necessary is let it be for this body, air is there, is automatically available, not directly but through God. God is there. What is also from God. And the food which is grown on this earth, that is also prepared by God. What we need, all the vitamins, all the carbohydrates, all the proteins, all the carbohydrates, all are prepared by God. Man could not make and cannot make. He can only make some kind of structure. He cannot make even the sand or stones or wood. It can only shape these things. Shape these things and make it in some kind of features that it is usable in some way or other. But original thing which is there, it is only found by, made by the God. So our all lifestyle, 100% we can say, is dependent upon God. And that what we are going to process it, then we are dealing with it in some way that we are making it unsuitable for us. Because when God has prepared, nature has prepared something for us, it has prepared really suitable for us. As you find, all these animals and birds and species of life are there, which are living wild life. They are always healthy. You will not find anyone blind or handicapped. They are generally going on nicely. And they do not need even any kind of medicines or doctors' help or hospitals, because they are going along with nature, natural life. But why man is suffering? Because he is not depending upon the nature. He is now having some kind of negativity, that I should make it as I like, not as God likes. He has made himself more wise than God, and that wisdom of the man is there, which is opposite to the wisdom which is required by us. The wisdom of God is the final wisdom, which is there sufficient for us, which we are to accept, adopt, and to live upon it. And in Bible, especially in Genesis, all this has been written, that we are to live on what is grown on the table of the earth. It is not that we are to cook anything or put anything on fire. That what is on the table of the earth, as it is there. And it is also written that it was so. That was the commandment of God. But later on the mind was jumping up, that I will make such like things, and man has confused himself and is now creating all the problems. And after creating the problems, he is also trying to have solutions of the problems. After creating the problems, the solution of the problems, and solution of the problems create more problems. And this way we are adding more and more problems, because what a man who has no sense, who has no intelligence, you give him something to do, he will undo everything. If you give if you ask the child, go and prepare some food for me, prepare some tea for me, he will spoil everything in the kitchen. Because he cannot do anything, he doesn't know anything. You cannot depend upon him. And the same way, man is not having any knowledge, any wisdom, or anything that he can do something for his own benefit, for his own usefulness, and that he will spoil everything. And after spoiling everything, then he is to go on suffering. So man is not to suffer if he depends upon his creator, his supplier, who is feeling responsible for him, and he is there with us. He is there in us. He will not leave us. And he has never left us for even a second. And he is having all knowledge, all wisdom, and he has everything with him. And when you depend upon him, you will really be wonderful. There is an instance that there was a person, when I was working in my job as civil engineer, there was a person who was having a brick kiln, and that was working in that brick kiln, the labor who had to mold the bricks from the earth. His father had come. He was having some kind of, not really godly powers, but psychic powers, meditating on some kind of deities or something like that. And he was having some also powers with him. And that owner of the kiln was a friend of me. He told me that there is some person who is really something having some supernatural powers, and we are also interested in spirituality. Come along with that, we will be able to see him. We went to him, and then we are talking to him, and then by the way he was telling that I was on what we call silence, not to speak for 15 days or 20 days. That only, if you would ask something, we have to give in writing. And then we asked him that if you are observing silence, then you would have been asking for any of your need in writing. He told, I am not illiterate. I am totally illiterate. I cannot write. And then we asked him that how then you were going on with your needs, which were to be fulfilled from outside. He told, it is our will. When we ask for something, it is available. And then we asked, it is not possible. How it can be possible? That we ask something that is given to us, how it is possible? He told, okay, I will tell you how it will work. he had some handkerchief in his hand. He threw it outside of the small house. It was lying outside. Then he was telling that now I will think that this handkerchief which is lying over there, it should come to me. And then he looked at the handkerchief and also looked at his hand. That in a moment there was some bird who took the handkerchief from outside and put it on his hand and flew away. And then we could understand that there is some power which is working as per need or our demand in nature. It's not that our materialism is working, something supernatural is also working. Then he also told another story of his own, that he had gone to his master, who was about 200 or more than 200 kilometers away. And then when they started their journey, they started journey on some jeep. And they checked the gasoline, it was about 3 inches. In those days, they were not such like what we call needles to show the capacity of the gasoline. It was, we were measuring with some kind of dip. It was 3 inches. And he was telling that we felt like that with this we will be able to go to the next filling station, and over there we will have the gas far further. And when they reached over there, they forgot it. And they had gone further, 2-3 kilometers further. And there they were wonderstruck. Oh, we had to get the gas from the filling station which we had left behind. And they stopped over there. And well, seeing what has happened, if we can reach the next filling station or we have to go back. And then they again checked the dip. It was again 3 inches. They felt like with 3 inches we can reach the next filling station. We need not go back. And when they were nearing the next filling station, again they missed it. In this way, all these 250 kilometers, there were about 2 or 3 or 4 filling stations, all they had been missing. But whenever they were measuring the dip, it was always 3 inches. They were not going less. However, they reached the destination. And the person to whom they went, they reached, he was in some wilderness. There was no arrangement, nothing was inside to take food or something like that. And there were about 3 or 4 persons, I think. And he was the fifth one to whom they had gone. Then after a little while, when there was food time, there was some person who brought food for all the 5 persons. And all the 5 persons did eat their food. Now these were people who had gone to him. They were little wondering where from this food had come. He did not order anybody that to raise food for us. And anybody was not here who would have seen us that we have come over here, and that person would have gone and arranged food for us. And he himself has got no food. How it came? And then they asked the person that what is this? That this food is arranged. But there's no really any such like arrangement that the food should be arranged. He told, my dear, there's something which is not needing any kind of materialism, not to write, not to say, but and not also to use any kind of materialism, but is working in some higher way. And that the thought was there, arrangement was also there. And that people had to accept it. There was also another example like this, that there was a professor in some college. I think his name was Ram Tirth or Tirth Ram, and that he was a spiritual person. After some time, he felt like leaving all his job, all the worldly things, and to go only into meditations for God. So near river Ganges, that place which is then called Rishikesh or Haridwar, in the forest, he was living over there in some hermit. And he had left his address with his colleagues of the college, and some of his colleagues who were also professors went to that place, and then they could know or could remember that our friend is also there. He had been our colleague as a professor, and now he is here in meditation. Let us go see him. And according to this address, they went over there, and they could see him, find him. And that some talk was there. And then they saw here around in a small hut. There was nothing. No utensils, no food, nothing stuff. Nothing was there. Then they asked a question to him, that how it is possible, that how do you live, how do you eat? At least eating is necessary. If clothes or bedding is not required, you can lay down on the ground with some kind of grass underneath you. But some food is always needed. He told, what I needed, it's supplied. How it is possible? It is possible, he told. Those people went back because they could not stand over there for the night. It was not possible for them. And then when they went back, then they had a plan that we'll see how it is working, if it is really correct. And they went in the morning when it was told to them that he only takes at noon time or at about 10 some milk or something like that. And in evening only have some food that comes automatically. They went over there at about 9 and took him with them. Okay, let us show some kind of scenery here and there. We want to enjoy this good nature. Underneath there we had a planning that we would take him out of this living hut, and that person who supplies him that food or milk at that time, he will not be there and he will not find at that time, and we will take him somewhere else. Then we will see how he finds his milk over there. This was their planning. So he went with them and was showing here and there. And there was now time, 10:05 or 10:10, and then they were looking at it. Now see, we will find how he finds the milk. He was only making us fool that something is automatically available without any arrangements. But then, to their surprise, they could find that there was a woman who was coming down from the hill, from the mountain, and she came down near to them, but she was to go the other way. But she looked to them and turned to them, and she was having yogurt with her, a big bucket or big pot full of it. And then she was coming to them, I want to serve this yogurt to you. Okay, that man told. And all they had got to their satisfaction. And when everybody was satisfied, then those people who had put this test to that man was asking him, not asking him, but asking that woman, that you don't know this man already? No, I never knew him. I never seen him before. And how did it feel like you do not know at least us even? And that she told, okay, I know nothing, no one of you. And why? How did you come to us? And how did you feel like asking us that she want to serve us this yogurt? She told, I don't know. I was coming to the market, to the city, to sell this yogurt over there. But when I was coming down and looked at you, some idea was there with me that why should not I give this yogurt to this gentleman? That I should serve them. I don't know why this idea came, and it came to you and served you. Then those people did could satisfy that there is something which is working, and that we do not know that her law, and we are only concerned with the worldly arrangements. But that godly arrangement which is there, which is much more perfect, it will never fail. The mother may forget to feed the child. Your some friend or relative may forget something, or you may also forget something to serve somebody for whom you are responsible. But that nature is never forgetful. It is always coming to the occasion perfectly. And we do not believe it. Such like people are not now available. Sometimes back, there were such like people, so many. Because the control of negative power has gone very hard, very strong, and we cannot even believe the arrangements of this world even, which we are going on with materially. These also fail sometimes. Some days back I was told that the electric current on the East Coast was failing for about 10 or 12 hours continuously. It was something strange in the USA especially, that the current may fail for 10 or 15 hours. But it's happened. But it will not happen in the kingdom of God, in the arrangement of God, never. That is foolproof. However, I may just inform you that these are the examples which I have given to you, which is from the psychic powers, the mental powers, that these people had only meditated upon the concentration of the mind, and due to the concentration of mind, they had gone higher up into higher realms of the mind, mental setup, and they could have some supernatural powers which were available at the level of the mind. And that all this creation which has been made of the lower three regions has been made by the mind. And in this system, we can make any changes, we can have anything of this world, or astral world, or causal world, by meditating upon the mental system. And people had been using it. But this is not allowed to you. Because all this what we meditate upon the mental system, we are getting more problems upon us. Because it's the mind which we are to transcend, and we are free. When we are making ourselves more dependent and more under the control of the mind, then we are increasing our power of those prison houses in which we are already very strongly present. And we will be permanently imprisoned. And after that, if ever you feel like coming out of those prisons also, it will be impossible for you. That's why I have also seen that those people who had been meditating on some kind of concentration, there are so many such like methods, such ways and means, that the people are told to concentrate on some mantra, concentrate on some navel plexus, or concentrate on some heart chakra, concentrate on some concentrate on kundalini, or some other systems. All these are lower systems in which we are more collecting ourselves, more binding ourselves. And such like people, if they are initiated, they will not be easily brought up. They will have to work very hard. And I have seen that I had sometimes to work upon them for some weeks even. And after some weeks, then they could be brought up out of this physical body, and they could come in contact with the holy sound or light. Otherwise, if laymen come and they have not meditated in any way, they are just lifted up all at once, because they are already at the neutral point, and they are not stuck anywhere. They are free already. And whenever you feel like, you can lift them up, and they are flying up. There is no difficulty. But those people who are having already some kind of such like practices, they become really very hard. And it's really very deplorable that the people of this world are deluded, and they feel themselves that they are really wonderful. Because then when they find some supernatural powers that they can show to the people, and the people are really very much influenced by them, and people begin to respect them and honor them, and also begin to feel like accepting them, great saints and masters, then they feel like, okay, this is the end all, this is be all, there's nothing else. We have found the final goal, which is the people call kingdom of God or God, and we have got all these powers, and we are enjoying, we should be satisfied. But all this illusion and delusion is there, they find afterwards when they are really caught up, and then they have to pay very high cost. All this Reiki, all these other what we call spiritual healing, all fall in the same category. Because it is only God who is capable of cancelling the destiny karma. There is no second power in creation, Lord God, who can cancel the destiny. And that those people who feel like working with any other system, they will be able only to create more problems for themselves and also problems for the people whom they have helped. Because it is only possible with the negative power arrangements that they can shift their problems to some other time. And we feel that this spiritual healing or some process has helped us, and we are having relief of this trouble or problem or disease. But afterwards, after a year or two later, when that disease again comes, it comes with much more intensity, much more multiplication, because some interest has also been put upon it, and the people really suffer. There was also such like a man who had been working on such like spiritual healing in India, and he was working in such a way for the relatives and friends and for so many other people. After some time he died. And after he died, then all the family, all the relatives were in such a horrible state that they were dying one after the other, dying. Because all those problems, all the difficulties, all those sufferings and diseases which we had been postponing, were now there to act upon those people in much more intensity, and they suffered really. And that person who conducts this process is very, very horrible to dealt with. For long times he will have to suffer very hard, because he had made such like changes in the system which was very much interconnected. That everything of this world which we do is not independent. It is all interconnected. Maybe 50 people or 30 people or some people at least. If you are to go somewhere, you are to deal with all those people from whom you are to leave. And you are also to arrange some conveyance people, and also you have to arrange for the people where you have to go, where you have to reach. And all these arrangements have already been made by the nature, by God. And when you make some change in this arrangement, all these already made arrangements are to be reshuffled. And they are to be disturbed. And then when you are to again go there, then new arrangements are again to be made. And who is responsible for all that losses? For the arrangements which had already been made previously, all that has gone to dogs. And all those costs, all those things which had been there are no more to be availed. Then that person who has conducted this system is felt responsible. And for all that new arrangement which is then to be done, that cost is also put in the accounts as debt to that person's accounts. And this way, such like people, no doubt they feel like that they have some authority. Their mental system goes around like we are men of authority. We have such like power that we can release such like persons from such like diseases. And you see all these people, spiritual healers, Reiki, and so many other pendulum, and so many other things, which any person who is using any kind of materialism or mental powers, they are really in such a horrible state, and nobody can be benefited out of them, really, and they are creating such a horrible system. But negative power is not having any feeling for that, because negative power has to keep the people in such like darkness or ignorance that God is not required. We have got something else than God, which is their working. This is the main object of the negative power, that people of this world are to given this understanding, that God is not needed. They may go to hell for millions of years, they may suffer for billions of years. That is not the thought or concentration of the negative power, sufferance of the people. But its own concentration is there, that God is not to be in my way. I am to be always, everywhere, at top, and all the people of this world should accept my authority. And they may suffer and suffer for billions and billions of years. But this we have to know, that where lies our goodness and truth, and where is our suffering. So that is why at the time of initiation, we tell the people that these things are not allowed. Some people don't accept it. Sometimes they leave the place that they don't want to be initiated because they cannot leave this kind of help or helping factor which we do to others. But they don't know what is really going on. Because man is very much in illusion. And this phase of illusion and delusion created by the negative power is spreading day by day. In my olden early days, there were not such like any things. Out of you also you would have found that about 20 years back or 30 years back, there was no such like a phase of spiritual healing or Reiki or such like other systems. This has all sprung up in recent years. And these are really most horrible things. And some more things are also coming up. And that we have to take care that we are to guide the people of the world. That is why you feel like that you should become men of knowledge and wisdom, and that what is missing, that God is missing from our hearts, and we cannot help the people through the agencies of God, and we cannot help ourselves, that we begin to work with God, and that when it will work in its own way, own wonderful way, then all the people of this world will flock around us, and all the tiny sparks of light will not be able to stand before the sun. When moon rises, the stars are no more. When sun rises, moon is also no more, because the sun has its own great power. And all these little small helping factors, which are not really helping factors, these are only illusions and delusions, but their effect is also very little. Their result is also very little. It's not really satisfactory. And when we will come in contact with God power, then we will be able to do wonders. And then this will collapse. As I told you, that when moon rises, the stars are no more. And when the sun rises, then the moon is also no more. Because when negative power is no more, then all the agencies and all the fooling systems will also collapse. All what organizations or we are working, it has evolved or is maintaining, the power will be no more, and all they will collapse. they will not work. And that the power which is working, that will begin to work. And that will be really power which the people will be able to enjoy. So this is the phase which the humanity needs very much. As I see, I really cry for that all these people who are claiming themselves to be men of knowledge and wisdom and they can help others, what they are doing, what they are thinking, what will happen to them and what will happen to those who are victim to them. It is something horrible, but we cannot say to us anything to them because they cannot understand it. Something has gone into their heart and they are going on. And the reason, the way with which we can help them is only one, that we awaken God in our heart. And when God is awakened in our heart, then all what is opposite to God will automatically go down. When sun comes up, then the darkness is already gone, automatically. If the sun is not there, then so many other people will come with some torch, with some lamp, candle, with some other lighting arrangements, which are not really working, which are only very, very part-timely and very tiny things. But people are dependent upon those and they will go along with that because there is nothing better than that. And when they find something really working and better and totally invaluable, totally free and really wonderful working, then the people will run towards that thing which is really working. Like the sun, everybody will find to run towards the sun, everybody will leave all other lighting arrangements. They will not believe those because they have already gone faint, very weak. They have not really energy and power in them to attract the people that they are having also some value for them. Because the value of the sun shows itself so great, so wonderful, and people will enjoy it. This is the way how we can help ourselves and how we can help others. There are so many paths, so many things in this world going on, just to destroy the man. And the people of this world are running after them in the hope that this is the easiest, very easy, very nicely, wonderfully available to us. Why should not we enjoy it? Why should not we find it? But they do not know it is nothing. It is all opposite to their expectation. But I have also not any ways and me to tell them. Few people are there who have believed me, thank God, that you might have been believing on some kind of such like spiritual healing, spiritual healers or pendulums or some kind of other such like Reiki, etc. And these are going on very, 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 very extensively, very, very extensively. And if you feel that there is anybody who is dependent upon the help of God, rarely anybody. So those people who are to enjoy godly blessings, very rare in this world at this time. And those who are prepared themselves to be health of health, more and more, darker and darker, they are going on flourishing. But a man who has got some knowledge of it and has sympathy for all his children, all his brothers and sisters, cannot bear it. And therefore I am awakening you that please, for my sake, or for all the suffering of humanity's sake, you should come up. It will help you also. If in the boat in which you are going along is saved, you will also be saved. But don't try that only I am to be saved, others may drown. Then the boat will down and you will also be down. So this is the world in which we are sailing, and that all this world is to be saved. And it is easy that we may ask God that He may save all of us. And that peace be unto all the world over, O my dear God. If we are to ask for any gift or any blessing from God, we have to ask for all the people of the world. Will not you find? If you ask for yourself, you may or may not find. But when you ask for whole of the world, then God will say, He is my good child. He is not selfish. He has some broadness of the mind, broad-minded, and He has simply love for all my children. So I should give Him more understanding and more ways and means that He may help all the humanity and He will also be helped. So this way of life is there, which has, my dear, found by me by good luck from my Master. How should I thank Him and how should I thank God that such an age in which darkness and nobody can understand God, that I could understand God. And that now this is the opportunity for you also. And that I am also feeling myself lucky that it is not I only myself I have got this way of life, a way of perfection. There are so many who have joined with me and that have accepted me, have believed in me and are saved. And it is certain 100%, as Master commits, that anybody who has accepted me, has been initiated by me, never will have a second death. And that you will live forever, and you are not to go to hell or any worse life, if necessary at any moment, in darkest or lowest situations that you do not accept any way the Master, you may have to be given next life maybe, but it will not be lower than the human body. At least you will be in the human body, because this blessing of God can only work in the human body. It cannot work in any other species of life. And the Master which had taken seat in you is responsible to take you up. He cannot let you go down at any rate, at any cost. He may have to work in any way, but you will have to be saved. So this commitment of the Master is really something really wonderful for you, that you may know its value, what great it is, and it is 100% sure and certain, and this is there. Nobody can say like that. Nobody can, because this is the authority of someone who with its authority can say that I have got authority and I can help you. All others who have no authority maybe sometimes may say, but they will not be able to accomplish it. There are so many such like masters who are so-called masters, but by good luck it is there. My Master had also prayed to God for this purpose, that there are so many false masters and there are so many followers of those masters, and that I may not fall a prey to them. And my dear God, I have no ability, no way to check what is real, what is unreal, and I am totally blind. How can I check up who is true and I may accept that? It is only you with your help that I will be able to find the true one, if you help me. So Master could find the appearance of his Master, Baba Samson, about 7 years before he was initiated, due to the power of the prayers he had been going around to God. So by God's biggest blessing, we find a living true Master. And when we have found a true Master, then send it to him. If we have found a boat which takes you to destination, sit in it. Don't look around in your own efforts. I can swim, I can do something. So leave yourself everything to the Master, and then he will be taking you as the mother takes the child in her womb. In the same way, the Master is also taking care of you at all the moments just in his own self, keep him like the mother in her body. That is very, very tender care, very, very wonderful care, which all we are to enjoy. Let us pray to Master that he may give us much better understanding, that we may believe in him as he is believable and dependable. Okay, my dear, thank you for your kind presence and patience listening. And now please be seated for your meditation.